protest today outside number 10 Downing Street against the proposed bombing of Syria. There is a huge turnout here today. It's very, very clear the British public don't want bombing in Syria. They don't want more war, they don't want more terror. They want an effective solution to this problem. Listen to that noise. The message is very clear. Don't bomb Syria. Excuse me, would you mind telling me what your sign's about?
It's stolen from a famous Vietnam symbol, I can show you, from the 60s. I just thought she was really right on, and it's a good message. I just don't think it's going to solve anything. I think it's going to create more hatred and extremism if we bomb Syria with no plan. So I think they need to think about other solutions, like cutting off funding to Daesh and closing the border with Turkey and trying negotiation rather than bombing.
But then how do you expect an organisation like ISIL to be destroyed? I mean, you want ISIL to end as well.
There's a number of things you have to do about ISIL. I think, first of all, you have to make the regional powers, Turkey, Iran, Saudi, and the Gulf states, step up to the plate. And really, because, ISIL is getting money, ISIL is getting arms from across the region. You have to negotiate an end to the Syrian civil war. And you have to stop ISIL having access to money and arms. And also, we do have to act on what is the greatest refugee crisis since the Second World War. But those are all things we should be doing.
The view is that ISIL is self-financing, it's not being funded by donors.
It is getting... No. Well, what I'm saying is there's a number of things, both diplomatic and in terms of working with the regional powers, that can be done to end the Syrian civil war, which has to end if you're really going to deal with ISIL, and to deal with the ISIL members. Nobody is saying you shouldn't deal with ISIL.
Back to your leader. I've spoken to one senior MP today, Labour MP. He said your leader may last until May. And that's being optimistic.
Who was that?
I can't say.
Well, you see, people who brief off the record are not reliable.
Sure. But you do realise your leader's in trouble.
I don't think it's about an individual. I think it's about the Labour Party making the right decision.
The Tories are split with their decision.
There is a fear that the Labour Party leadership isn't in sync with the country's view, which thinks
the Tories are split on their decisions. Why are we not talking about their leadership?
But friends, this is the reality to wrap up we have to face. The vast majority of people being killed in Syria are not being killed by ISIS. They are being killed by the dictatorship. And the reality is, the vast majority of Sunnis, they don't like ISIS, but they fear Assad more than they fear ISIS. And that is why the only solution to this, a lasting solution, is a national unity government in Syria that commands the support of the overwhelming majority of the population. That's what we need, a national unity government, bringing together all the regional players to make sure that happens. So let's stand up for that settlement, let's oppose this bombing, let's stop doing the same thing over and over again that has just ended with more bloodshed and murder and more terrorism, and let's stand up for a peaceful world purged of extremism and these catastrophic wars. We stand together, we fight together, and we will win this battle together. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Owen.
It's all about, like Cameron and his mates and Saudi Arabia, they're just all into making loads of money, basically. That's what it's all about. And loads of innocent people are getting killed.
And what's the importance of a demonstration like today?
Well, it's really good to hear people speak. There's been some good speakers here, telling it how it is. And I hope they'll wake a few people up, because going into a country and bombing it isn't the answer, it just makes things worse. And it makes the military a lot of money and all the shareholders.
Don't bomb Syria! 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 Don't bomb Syria!
War doesn't end terrorism, it produces terrorism and it recruits for the terrorists.
I'm just saying that David Cameron is not listening to the Syrians themselves. We have a group of very well-educated
Syrians in Manchester that have put forward a whole set of proposals to help sort out this issue between the dictatorship of Assad and the Daesh. I'm sorry, I can't call them Islamic because they're not Islamic. And these proposals have not been listened to by David Cameron. I was in attendance in the committee room where those proposals were put forward. I have seen and I have heard uncensored material, so I'm speaking knowing the full picture of what's happening out there. It is absolutely disastrous for us to go in and do airstrikes. We need to listen to these people, and they've put forward a letter on Friday to again appeal to David Cameron not to go in with airstrikes. What's happening now in Syria is that Daesh are not letting people out of their stronghold borders. We have got innocent people that do not agree with Daesh wanting to escape from these pending airstrikes. They're being encapsulated, and so these targets will end up being civilians. And where is Article 51 of the Geneva Convention to all these warlords in the world? Because we seem to be forgetting. The better response is to intelligently use intelligence which is out there, and for us to work like the Brussels partnership did with their military and the police force. I thought that was a brilliant logistics experience of clamping down the city, ensuring that the civilians were safe and flushing out the criminals. That is the only way that you're going to be able to do it in Syria and around the globe, because this is a double-headed monster with a lot of tendrils everywhere. You're not going to do it with this airstrike. Keyhole surgery is the better way, a much more intelligent and sophisticated way than going in with a sledgehammer.
And so I want to join with everyone who's spoken so far, and I'm sure every one of you and of millions in the country, in saying this: Jeremy Corbyn was right over Iraq, he's right over Syria, and all the Labour members of Parliament should be behind him in the lobby on Wednesday.
Not in my name! Not in